Nutrition in human beings. There are 5 steps in the process of nutrition in human beings. Ingestion. The process of taking food into the body is called ingestion. In most simple terms, ingestion means eating of food. When we put food into our mouth with hands, we are ingesting the food. Digestion. The process in which the food containing large insoluble molecules is broken down into small water-soluble molecules which can be absorbed by the body is called digestion. Digestion makes the food soluble so that it can be utilized by the animal's body. Most animals use both physical and chemical methods for digesting, breaking up the large food molecules. Physical methods include chewing and grinding the food in mouth, and chemical methods include the addition of digestive juices, enzymes, to food by the body itself. Absorption. After digestion, the food molecules become small and soluble. The soluble food molecules can pass through the walls of our intestine and go into blood. The process in which the digested food passes through the intestinal wall into bloodstream is called absorption. Assimilation. Blood carries the absorbed food to all the parts of the body. The food then enters each and every cell of the body, where it is used for producing energy and for making materials for the growth and repair of the body. The process in which the absorbed food is taken in by body cells and used for energy, growth and repair is called assimilation. Digestion. The whole food which we eat is not digested by our body. A part of the food which we eat remains undigested or insoluble, which cannot be used by the body. This undigested part of the food is then removed from the body in the form of feces when we go to toilet. The process in which the undigested food is removed from the body is called digestion. Respiration in animals. Different animals have different modes of respiration. In simple unicellular animals like amoeba, respiration takes place by the simple diffusion of gases through the cell membrane. Most of the animals have, however, specific organs for respiration. The animals, like earthworms, which live in the soil, use their skin to absorb oxygen from air and remove carbon dioxide. So the respiratory organ in the earthworm is the skin. The aquatic animals, like fish, prawns and mussels, have gills as the respiratory organs, which extract oxygen dissolved in water and take away carbon dioxide from the body. In the insects, like grasshopper, cockroach, housefly and a mosquito, the tiny holes called spiracles on their body and the air tubes called trachea are the respiratory organs. The respiratory organs of the land animals, such as man, humans, birds, dog and frog, etc., are the lungs. Frogs, however, breathe both by lungs and skin. Respiratory system in humans. In human beings, many organs take part in the process of respiration. We call them organs of respiratory system. The main organs of human respiratory system are nose, nasal passage or nasal cavity, trachea, bronchi, lungs and diaphragm. The air for respiration is drawn into our body through the nostrils present in the nose. This air then goes into nasal passage. The nasal passage is separated from the mouth cavity, buccal cavity or oral cavity by a hard, bony palate so that we can breathe in air even when we are eating food and the mouth cavity is filled with food. The trachea is a tube which is commonly known as windpipe. The air coming from the nostrils during breathing passes through trachea. The trachea does not collapse even when there is no air in it because it is supported by rings of soft bones called cartilage. The upper end of trachea has a voice box called larynx. The trachea runs down the neck and divides into two smaller tubes called bronchi at its lower end. The two bronchi are connected to the two lungs. The lungs lie in the chest cavity or thoracic cavity, which is separated from abdominal cavity by a muscular partition called diaphragm. The lungs are covered by two thin membranes called pleura. The lungs are enclosed in a rib cage made of bones called ribs. When we breathe in air, the diaphragm and muscles attached to the ribs contract, due to which our chest cavity expands. This expansion movement of the chest increases the volume inside the chest cavity. Due to increase in volume, the air pressure decreases inside the chest cavity, and air from outside, being at higher pressure, rushes into the lungs through the nostrils, trachea, and bronchi. In this way, during the process of breathing in, the air sacs or alveoli of the lungs get filled with air containing oxygen. The alveoli are surrounded by very thin blood vessels called capillaries, carrying blood in them. So the oxygen of air diffuses out from the alveoli walls into the blood. The oxygen is carried by blood to all the parts of the body. This oxygen is carried by a red pigment called hemoglobin, present in blood. As the blood passes through the tissues of the body, the oxygen present in it diffuses into the cells due to its higher concentration in the blood. This oxygen combines with the digested food, glucose, present in the cells to release energy. Carbon dioxide gas is produced as a waste product during respiration in the cells of the body tissues. This carbon dioxide diffuses into the blood due to its higher concentration in body tissues. Blood carries the carbon dioxide back to the lungs, where it diffuses into the alveoli. When we breathe out air, the diaphragm and the muscles attached to the ribs relax, due to which our chest cavity contracts and becomes smaller. This contraction movement of the chest pushes out carbon dioxide from the alveoli of the lungs into the trachea, nostrils, and then out of the body into air. In this way, the process of gaseous exchange is completed in the human respiratory system.